I've featured a number of Seestern watches here on my channel, and every single time I have one here, I'm impressed by the quality versus the price. Today we're going to take a look at a DOXA Homage. It's a 600T Homage. This is a 200-meter dive watch in stainless steel. It gets a ceramic bezel, all for an amazing price. Let's flip the camera and take a look at a DOXA Homage by Seestern. I'm always impressed with the quality that you get from Seestern for the money. Today we're taking a look at a 200-meter dive watch that is only $199. Of course, it's automatic. It has sapphire, it has a ceramic bezel, and it's an homage to a DOXA, the DOXA 600T, a really cool watch. And this looks a lot like that DOXA, so let's take a look. So it comes in the typical Seestern packaging. A lot of brands use this packaging. It's just a plastic case with foam inside. It's meant to look like a dive case, something that's waterproof, but it is not. And of course you get a booklet and warranty card. They give you a screwdriver because you do get screwed links on this bracelet. And I have to say the bracelet on this watch is very, very nice. Now that DOXA that I just mentioned, the 600T, the price range on those range between $1,400 and around $1,700. Now, if you want the $1,400 version, it's around $1,400 or $1,500. That's the one with the stainless steel bezel insert. The ceramic bezel insert version is a little bit more expensive. This actually gets a ceramic bezel insert. It gets a flat sapphire crystal. It gets lots of lume. It also has a lumed date. And the dial itself, all the lume is printed directly onto the dial, very liberally applied with lume. You have little red surrounds that are printed around each one of the indices. You have a minute track. This has a matte blue dial. They call it ceramic blue. It looks like blue, basically a matte blue. You have an orange minute hand that has lume on it. Obviously the hour hand again has lume on it. Both of those are fence post. Then you have a second hand with a pip on it. That second hand has a sort of square that's filled with lume. The bezel itself, ceramic, and has great bezel action. There you go. Everything lines up. There's a little bit of lume in the bezel as well. Flat ceramic that is very glossy. So sort of in keeping with the original DOXA 600T. Now the 600T had 600 meters of water resistance. This gets 200 meters of water resistance. Of course, this costs $199, so that kind of makes sense. Really, 200 meters is all I ever need. 600 meters is a little bit overkill, but of course there is bragging rights, and I think a lot of people want those. But turning the watch on its side, you can see that the sides are sort of slab-sided, very typical for the 600T. You have brushing, then you have a polished edge that is a little bit thicker on the ends, and then of course around the crown guards. The crown is signed with a Seestern, that C-star on there, and then of course it is screwed in. Very, very knurled, very grippy. It's like a little canister, and that actually unscrews and then screws into the case. Gives you 200 meters of water resistance. The back of the case again has that C-star right there, and then of course you have a wave pattern very nicely engraved into the case back. I will do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. Automatic movement, NH35 inside here, Seiko NH35. It says sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance. And that's really it. Just a couple of numbers, but beyond that, not much information on the back of this watch. I will do close-ups of the back because it is actually very, very nicely engraved. The strap, the bracelet, does not have quick release. Pretty surprised by that because I think most Seestern do, but this one does not. The bracelet is very nice though. You have screwed links. It's sort of an H pattern, very similar to what you would get on a DOXA 600T. It is brushed on the top, polished on the sides. In between each one of the links, there is polish. Then you have the typical micro brand buckle at this price point. I don't see anything wrong with this. It is pretty much milled. I believe that the entire thing is milled. Maybe this portion is pressed, but it is signed Seestern there. And then you have 6 positions of micro adjust, so you'll be able to get a really good fit on this, especially since the links aren't very long, so they're almost like half links to begin with. You'll get a really good fit overall on this watch, which is good. It'll be very comfortable. And there you go. I think this is a really good looking watch. And the other side of the watch, obviously very slab sided, as I mentioned. You have really nice notching in this bezel. That's why it's so grippy. It sounds really good. Let me show you what I have on my wrist, and then we will do a lume shot, because like I said, the lume actually very good on this watch. Today I have a watch on that I plan on oil filling, and you guys know I love to oil fill watches. I've made a few videos where I've oil filled watches, Casios in the past. I've also oil filled a Citizen that was an Eco Drive dive watch. This is the second dive watch that I am attempting to oil fill. This is a Casio Doro that I just recently purchased, and I will be giving away this watch. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a video where I'll be oil filling this and giving you details on that giveaway. I'll more than likely be doing that giveaway on Whatnot. Basically an oil filled Casio Doro that I created. Before I throw the Seestern on my wrist, let me do quick measurements. This is a 40 millimeter watch, and it's basically spot on at 40 millimeters. And then the thickness, 13.1 millimeters, 200 meter water resistant watch. Not bad, not terrible, not great, but really not that bad. Considering you have a Seiko NH35 inside, that's really not all that bad. 47 millimeters, 48 almost, lug to lug. That's not including the male end links. Male end links bring this up to around 53 millimeters. Crown is actually pretty sizable. And it is around almost 6 millimeters, but I don't think I'm catching it directly on. There you go. So it's 6.3 millimeters. Really, if you catch it on the edge, that's where it's the largest, and it appears that big when you're looking at it because it screws directly into the case, as you can see. So very quickly, on my wrist, I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 40 millimeter watch. It's basically sized for my wrist. It's a good looking watch. I have to say, this is a very good looking watch. I've always admired the DOXA 600T. I think they are really good looking watches, and they're sort of like an integrated bracelet look without being an integrated bracelet watch. So you have end links that fit directly into the case, sort of flush with the case, and are squared off. And these look good on straps as well, but I think that they look the best on a bracelet, and you can see why. Really good looking. The blue version is really nice. They also make a black version of this. All of them, I believe, are $199 right now on the Seestern website. So if you're interested, definitely check them out. You also get a lumed date wheel, as I mentioned. So let's check out that lume shot. Everything is really nicely lumed. You have a very large pip in the bezel for orientation. Obviously, that date is lumed. It gives it balance in the dark. That looks awesome. It looks very, very good. And then, of course, the second hand you can see ticking along there, that box very liberally applied with lume. The hands are decently applied with lume. And I would say the indices are a little bit less bright when compared to the hands and maybe even that pip, but everything looks very good and it hangs on pretty well as well. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I think Seestern constantly bring really good watches to the table at a very good price. $199 is insane for an automatic watch that can go 200 meters with a ceramic bezel and sapphire crystal. That's insane. I think that's a really good price. Not a lot of watches out there can do that at that price. And obviously Seestern constantly churn out watches that are very affordable and have tons of specs. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Seestern? What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the DOXA 600T? I'd like to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.